What's going on, everybody? It's your boy BTK Bland back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody feeling this weekend? It is a beautiful Saturday evening, and yes, we are at the shop hanging out, talking shit, talking about games, doing what we do best every single week. We do have a brand new first-time guest in the building, so you guys make sure you show some support for our guests in the building as well. Make sure you retweet the link on Twitter. If you don't know, go to Twitter, retweet, let everybody know the Shop Podcast is live, and I appreciate the continued support from you guys every single week. You guys show up and show out. So I do want to make sure I say something before we start the show. Now, I've had people ask me about this. So Super Chat, I believe, should be live. So if you want to do Super Chat, it's not something I'm mandating or whatever, but I've had people ask me before that it should be live. So let me know if anybody wants to do that in the chat. So just want to check that out. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. Just with our guest of honor, essentially. This man, once again, brand new face here on the Shop Podcast. How you doing, Mav? Appreciate you hanging out with us. Let everybody know who's watching live right now, where they can find you, what you've been up to, and what you got going on, brother.
Well, first off, thank you for the invite. That was awesome to get that message from you, inviting me to the podcast. So
No problem,
it made my day. And
No
for everybody who's looking for where you can find me, on Twitter, my handle is @FunSpeculation. Also, I have a YouTube channel, Fun Speculation. I post my podcast that I started. We just did episode 13, and that hit yesterday, and that is on YouTube. At the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. The podcast is called Xbox Ultimate. If you can't tell from that name, yes, I do love Xbox. Also, that is available on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much wherever the audio podcast platform you want to listen to is, you can find it there. And also I do stream on my channel quite a bit. I found ever since I started this that while I'm gaming, it's more fun if I'm streaming for some reason. So I just started doing that. I don't know why, but check it out, guys. I appreciate the support.
Awesome, and glad to have you here, man. Once again, please go show this man support. All of his information is in the description below, so go check him out, subscribe to him, go check out all of his content. Once again, another creator coming up in the ranks, doing really good things. You're going to be happy when you go check his content out, so do me a favor and help out. And before I go anywhere, shout out to Smitty Smith with the quick super chat. He said the shop is live, y'all. Salute to you, Smitty Smith, as well as Mod of the Year, Shonsu, $2 super sticker. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you guys for this continued support. Once again, just want to let you know it is there. If anybody wants to do that, it's completely up to you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to my three amigos here on the show. We'll start with you, Stag. I know we were talking about some sketchy stuff before the show started, but how you been doing this week, brother? What you been cooking up, man?
It wasn't sketchy. Do we need to recap? I mean,
no recaps.
No, you don't want to recap? I mean, the chat might. Maybe I'll just super chat it.
We can wait. We got to wait till Chris gets here.
So okay. I'm trying to set up anyways. What's going on? Nothing. I'm just, but for real, I'm just streaming, playing games, working on that million. Less than 90,000 to go. I'm stumbling over my own feet.
It's all good, man. It's been an odd Sunday. It's been an odd Saturday.
It's been an odd Sunday too.
So I feel you, brother. Appreciate you here every single week, man. You guys know what you're getting with Stag, man. No need for even really any introductions, man. Stag here every week, showing support, doing the damn thing, man. Let's move on to you, Centurion. How you been, brother? I know you've been working your ass off, man. Hopefully we can get some content coming up on the channel. But how you been, brother?
I've been doing good. Yes. Working lots. Definitely got to make that money. Definitely when you're like, hey, baby, I spent $1,100 on consoles. You kind of get that look. So you got to kind of recover them funds. But yeah, definitely working a lot. And yes, there is some content coming out. I already have it done. I'm just doing a few things though. That's kind of like an experiment. What I'm wanting to try. I'm wanting to see if I can actually try to get it to pop up on the Google search engine. So I've been kind of doing some coding in the background on it, trying to, I guess, kind of try new things, see how the algorithm works on YouTube. Don't ask me why. I'm kind of curious to see what sparks it. But I was definitely taken back by our pre-show chat. Stagger definitely, oh man. But that's where I want to be like,
bring it every week, quality content.
Well, actually, I'm thinking why don't we take advantage of the super chat situation and let's get some PTK, some funds, and slap the like button.
It's not about me.
But for
it's not about me. It's about the people.
For probably a small monetary stimulation, Stagger will tell you what he was talking about. For a proper monetary stimulation, we can have Fuzzy Belvedere over here, and the magician of ASMR, say some amazing things.
we getting a few next, Fuzz. So appreciate you, Centurion, man. Every week you always fucking bring it, man. Appreciate you, man. Always here, man. So Fuzz, it's on you, bro. Mr. Smooth Voice. Now, man. One thing you gotta understand: when Fuzzy starts talking, don't nod off. Okay, you gotta. Yeah, it's all good. Stay awake.
I'll try.
Actually, there you go. Everything feels kind of fuzzy after when you listen to it with both earphones on.
The voice is smooth, man. Butter. I'm telling you. Go ahead, Fuzz.
Thank you. Yeah. No, but yeah, for the most part, just been chilling on Twitter, watching people get angry over silly stuff, and just real excited about these next couple of weeks. We're so close. Was it like 19 days now? I think something like that before consoles drop. So, man, some awesome stuff to talk about today. But yeah, no more time talking. Let's get to it.
Let's dive right in like we do every single week, man. So let's go ahead and dive in. We got some excellent topics. So once again, we're going to start with the poll of the week. If you guys do not know and you're new here, I put up a poll every single Monday. And then we talk about it here on the Shop Podcast. So follow me on Twitter. You guys will catch it every single Monday. So let's go ahead and dive right into the poll of the week. So poll of the week was, what's the most iconic video game weapon of all time? I wanted to make this really fun. So I picked some cool options. Now, listen, I went down a rabbit hole. I didn't realize there was so many iconic weapons. I lost track. And I only got 4 slots. So I had to do the best I could. So we got Energy Sword, Blades of Chaos, Buster Sword, or other. So shout out to everybody who voted. Almost 200 votes on the poll. Appreciate you guys. Another poll of the week coming Monday in a couple of days. So we're going to start with you, Mav. Spotlight is on you, bro. You could do other. Obviously, there's tons of other weapons. But out of those options, which one would you choose as the most iconic weapon in video games?
Well, ironically, I was just gifted one of these by my wife this week. And there is a video on my channel of me assembling it. Now, it's not the real thing, but Energy Sword. 100%, no doubt about it. It is unique. When you see it, you know Halo immediately. And there's not very many weapons. When you see the weapon, I automatically, no doubt about it, 100%, you know what it is, right?
Okay.
The only other thing I could think of that would be close to that, but it's not really video games, would be a lightsaber. Right?
Yeah.
But that's Star Wars, obviously. Now that does go into video games, right? But if you're just talking about video games, Energy Sword, Halo, and I would say second would be the assault rifle from Halo.
So, I was gonna say the BR or even not the pistol, because the pistol wasn't very good after Halo 1. Nobody used it. But
you just start with the assault rifle, right? So you just see that like triangle of the ammo, count right in front of your face as Master Chief. But Energy Sword, 100%, man.
Okay, cool. So I like that choice, and obviously the poll very, very much favored. I didn't even go to the results. Energy Sword won landslide, 57%. Buster Sword from Final Fantasy. That's 20%. Blades of Chaos, obviously Kratos, 10%, other 14%. So go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Out of those options, brother, which one would you choose? Which one do you think is the most iconic, or is yours not on the list?
So going outside the box.
Okay.
I didn't vote, but I should have picked other. So I'm going to say the Xbox 360 controller. I'm not even explaining myself. That's all I got to say. It's the best weapon ever.
Come on, too much. Too much. You can't do that.
That's literally outside the box.
I want.
How are we supposed to follow up? How are we supposed to follow that? How are we supposed to follow that? All right, so if that's your choice, for real,
that's my choice. Okay, that's my weapon of choice.
Nothing wrong.
I'm right there with you, man. On the Wii, that Nunjust stick or whatever, that like attachment for that made it like a.
That thing broke a hell of a lot of TVs.
And
you could go Super Scope.
Oh yeah, that's true. 360 quick scope right into the TV for sure with those things. But okay, so that's obviously a choice that I didn't see coming. But I had
to do it.
Okay, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so I guess let me throw my choice out there.
All-encompassing.
So let me throw. So energy sword would have been, because, like you said, I think I had the same reason as you, Mav. That you as soon as you see it, you know exactly what it is. There's no guessing. There's not even a millisecond between you associate the weapon with the character and the entire video game series. I think for me, the only other weapon that I could think of that would be iconic to me would be maybe the Master Sword from Zelda. But it's pretty plain sword. It doesn't look like any spectacular. So you may get confused. It doesn't really stand out. But I think
I wanted to. Well, I might as well add it on to yours. I wanted to actually say one of the ones that came to mind for me was actually Link's shield.
That's the Hyrule. Yeah, the shield. That's a good. I didn't consider
somebody his sword, and they'd be like, "What the hell is this?" But you hand them the shield on the other hand, and everybody be like, "Oh my god, this is Zelda."
That's a good point. The Hyrule, the 3 triangle. Yeah, I see that. I see where you're going. Go ahead, Centurion. Was that going to be your choice?
Well, off of what your choices were on your poll, definitely. We can't. You had the Halo sword on there. I mean, oh my god. The days of Halo 3 of hiding around a corner.
Yeah. Oh, that was you. That was you that I was cussing out.
Oh, dude. Like the
corner camper.
After the 20th time you would do it to somebody and you hear that Slayer, you'd just be like, oh, that's right. Everybody's pissed at this point.
It took damage and died.
Huh?
You had to get a new energy sword. It never lasted 20.
But I played so much, I knew where they would appear. And the thing is, there would be that one guy. You'd have Rambo over here and say, "I'm gonna go get the energy sword. I'm gonna get you back." And he comes in the room and you shank him to the ground. And it's like, "Hey, thanks for the new energy sword, dumbass." Anyways,
well, Halo. All of the weapons are pretty freaking iconic.
You can make an argument for. Oh, you're right.
That rocket launcher was pretty boss.
Yeah. Bubble shield, all kind of stuff. That's not a weapon, but I mean, it's an item.
Use it right, it was.
Yeah, that's true. You could use it as a weapon. Okay, so was that your full
so
answer?
I also want to get one off your list though.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel like it's kind of iconic because I feel like I have one here, and that's the Mass Effect Omniblade.
Okay, that's a little more niche, not niche, but like a little. I don't know. I mean, it is a weapon. So why that choice?
Well, you know the one I'm talking about. It wasn't introduced until the second game when like you would hit the melee button and you would watch this thing like literally unfold out of the arm and you would melee somebody with it. And like GameStop had them on clearance one time, and I actually picked one up just to put it on my entertainment center. And it's just that orange blade. Like he's on the cover of Mass Effect 3.
I remember. Yeah, I know what it is. Okay.
I got another candidate.
Go ahead. Throw it out there.
Lancer from Gears of War.
Yeah. That's actually a lot of people say Lancer is the Lancer. So.
Yeah, Lancer too.
You could shoot somebody and chainsaw them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think that would be the first time in video games that we were able to. I don't know in video games, but I can't remember there ever being an FPS we were able to do that.
Well,
prior to Gears,
we had chainsaws.
Well, you weren't able to impale people though, were you?
I mean, you could cut them.
Well, you can. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we get on.
Does it have to be a video game weapon?
That was the polls.
Well, if it wasn't a video game weapon, it'd be lightsaber, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
lightsaber.
Yeah, probably the most iconic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lightsaber would probably. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw this over to Fuzz, man. Curious to see which option you would choose. There's no Forza car on the list.
Weapons?
No.
Yeah, they don't have. There's no Forza cars on the list at all.
Can't use the blue shell from Mario Kart or anything.
No, that you could use that count.
Banana peels.
The banana peels.
Yeah, no, but I wound up picking the Buster Sword just because. Even though I'm not a fan of Final Fantasy, that's just one of those iconic things you've seen, like similar shaped swords in other games, and Monster Hunter, and what was the other one that came to mind? Like even I can't think of the other sword based games, but just that style of sword where it's like 3 times the size of the character. Just that was a thing for a lot of like JRPGs and RPGs in general for a while.
Yeah, that was awesome sword.
Okay, and another thing too, just to throw this out here for us, a lot of people hit me up said the BFG as well.
Yeah.
So I know you just said that, Stag, in the chat, but a lot of people on the poll, beneath the poll, said BFG as well from Doom. So that's another iconic ass weapon. So that was a great warm up, great topic, man. To just go ahead and get the show started, man. It's been amazing already, man. Once again, everybody, make sure you retweet the show, subscribe if you have not already. Let everybody know we're live at the Shop podcast right now. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody watching. Let me get some quick shout outs in the chat, man. I don't want to forget about you guys. Indie Gamer, what up, brother? Just showed up. Smitty Smith. Hanging out here. Once again, appreciate the super chat. It is live, everybody. Super chat is live, so just to let you know. Game Pass Dad, Cheese Snow, everybody just hanging out. Everybody watching. It's not in the chat. Appreciate you guys' support as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So sorry about that, fellas. Let me go ahead and get it pulled up here. My unprepared ass. All right. So the next topic was essentially we're talking about something that I actually did a video of, and I put that video up earlier. Matter of fact, the link to that video is in the description as well. So we're going to be talking about just some rumors, little rumors kind of been hanging around on Twitter lately about a possible Xbox event in November, or even if it's not a thing and it doesn't happen, would you guys be opposed to the idea that they do something like pre-launch? We keep seeing November 9th and things happening around that day or just before and after. So I just want to kind of get you guys' opinion. Mav, we'll start with you, brother. What do you think? I mean, I know there was some I don't say some tweets, but I saw somebody screenshot something from Xbox Mexico talking about an event on the 9th. You know, all types of little things circulating around that day. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to get an event or no? And if we do, what would you like to see?
First off, Stubbs feels left out. So what's going on,
my
Stubbs?
bad, Stubbs. My bad. Stubbs, baby, you know I love you. I know the UK.
He's crying over there.
I love the UK. I love the UK. I got love for the UK, Stubbs. Shout out to you, brother.
So first off, we've seen tweets from Xbox Mexico, and we've seen tweets from Xbox New Zealand, and I think those are more isolated launch events for those areas. However, the New Zealand one, that's going to be the first place where it goes on sale, right? So yeah. I think that one will have a little bit more. I don't think they've announced what they're going to do for us yet, and I think we got something coming on the 9th. I think it's going to be big. I think they're going to have some announcements. I think they're going to show some stuff, just like they did right before pre-orders went live. They had that freaking massive, huge announcement. They held stuff back from the Xbox Game Showcase that people have been speculating for a while. They possibly held back Hellblade 2 gameplay. They possibly held back the Initiative game reveal. Now, I don't think we're going to get all of that, but at that event, Matt Booty did say, throughout the end of the year, we'll know what the other first-party games are from those studios that were not announced. So you got Compulsion, you got, let's see, you got the Initiative, and there's one more that I can't think of right now. But they have a few more games to announce. And they're going to do that, I believe, at an event on the 9th. In the U.S., it's going to be a digital event, and not only will we get an event, I think, obviously this is just fun speculation, but I think we're going to get the Initiative's game reveal at that event. Ooh. And I think it's going to blow people's minds. I think the game is ready to be seen, and we're going to get it. So that's my thoughts on it.
Ooh, that's juicy. There's a lot of places to go there. Okay, so basically you're saying obviously we're going to get the launches, you know, obviously around the globe, the one in New Zealand, Mexico potentially, but as far as the US, we're going to get our own event potentially, like you said, something digital. That's right along the lines of what I've been reading essentially. I've had a couple people DM me as well, but I've seen a couple things just scrolling through Twitter that kind of hinting at that. So we'll dive into that a little bit more. But Stag, it's on you, brother. I mean, have you seen anything? And if you have, does that make sense? Like, you feel like Xbox should do an event? You know, what do you feel like the odds are we're going to get something like that?
I don't know, man. Like, I honestly didn't scour, but didn't see anything either. But I just, while you guys were talking, figured out what the event's going to be. I got my shill report while we were talking. But you know what? It's going to be a live trivia event.
Oh my goodness.
Because that went so well last night.
So wait. Everybody stop. Chris has just entered the chat. Go ahead, Stag. Chris is here. You can actually.
Chris, we wanted to donate some money for you to go to Burger King.
Stop. Shout out to you, Chris. Welcome, brother. Welcome to
win yourself a PS5. Oh wait, you already got one on pre-order. So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, that's it, man. Like,
Okay.
dude, I have nothing for that. Like,
Okay.
sure, maybe they will. Who cares? I mean, the event to me is the launch of the console. So
Okay. Okay.
if they do something pre-launch, that's cool and all, but like, I don't care. Like, I just hope I'm hoping for another trivia event. I ain't even kidding, dude. That was a lot of fun. So.
All right, cool. All right, no, nothing wrong with that, brother. So, we may get an event, we may not. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion.
So I'm waiting for that. So.
We say?
When's Sony doing a fan event? In the last couple years?
No, we haven't had a PSX or anything like that in like 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that.
Last question.
But let's go ahead and throw this over to you.
I have one more question.
My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Aren't they all about the players? I mean, geez.
Listen.
You got to do stuff for your fans, right? I mean,
they're planning.
Planning for what? Like 6 years?
I don't know. No, but I feel like they're gonna.
I need a Whopper. That's all I know.
Shout out to you, Chris, hanging out, brother. Shout out to Invader, man. What's up, brother? Just hanging out in the chat, man. Appreciate you. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Where you at with this, man? Have you heard anything based on what Mav said? You think? It makes sense, or where you at with this, brother?
I haven't really heard anything, but that's also because I work too damn much. But for the most part, I would expect Xbox to do something. They're definitely. I'm just trying to think like what happened with FanFest last night because we were part of. I attended FanFest last night, and don't get me wrong, it was fun.
It was an event, that was for sure. So, listen.
I do expect them to do something. See, that's the thing. They are doing events. Like okay. I can't deny that they are doing events. Last night they had an event. Somebody got really excited on that one.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, he was just finishing his Whopper. That's all. His Whopper and his Diet Coke. Yeah.
With last night's event, I think that's more for people like us, right? And there's not many announcements or anything like that. It's just like, hey, come hang out, have some fun for like the most diehard fans of gaming, right?
And so I see them getting. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I see them getting something going on. They're having I believe launch parties in other places around the world. So I'm pretty sure they might have something small here, but we also got to take into consideration in watching last night's event. We saw them even making jokes about the social distancing and the stuff that they have to do to basically host those events. Just for those two people to be on a small screen on a digital basis, they had to be X amount of feet away from each other. As a matter of fact, what's his face tried to put his lips on a controller. And apparently somebody in the background told him no because of the whole situation with what's going on. So hosting an event isn't exactly something that's easily done. So I definitely will say it takes some careful planning. I do see him doing something shortly before the launch. Is it going to be something big and spectacular? That's definitely open for speculation.
I think it would be digital, most likely.
It's gonna be a digital event.
Absolutely. So one thing before we move on and get to Fuzz, I do want to say how backwards people are acting about that whole event last night. Not anybody here on the panel or anything like that, but
I'm acting backwards.
It's funny because as gamers, we should be more technologically savvy than the majority of people, but we still, for whatever reason, don't understand that like problems happen. Like I seen people complaining about the event. I understand. I get it. I understand that maybe you expected a bit more, things to run a bit smoother, but we know these things don't ever really happen the way they're supposed to. These companies are working in a climate they've never had to work in, so give them a break. You know what I'm saying?
Doing something new, something that never been tried before.
And it's something never tried before. And trying to get 25,000 people around the globe simultaneous interaction.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't care how many servers you got, how much shit you've tested. They had 25,000 people in the surveys trying to do live interaction with a counter and a timer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't care. That's not probably anything easy to do.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Any armchair quarterback can sit there and say what they want, but that can't be easy, especially if not everybody can be on site, given the world's condition right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm not even making excuses for it. If Sony would have had an event like that and it went off like that, I'd be saying the same goddamn thing. If fucking Google tried to do that shit, it can't be easy.
See, that's why I stand behind. I see Microsoft doing something. I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't know how great it's going to be, but Microsoft is trying to give us something where the other guys seem to just be reacting. Oh, they had an event. We got to do something. Oh, they let us know how much their console is going to be. We got to do something. You know, I feel like at least Microsoft is attempting things to acknowledge the fans.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. The year's not over, and obviously things are warming up. These companies are heating up. They're both working in climates that they've never had to work in before. As far as these consoles, nobody's ever had to release a console during a goddamn global crisis. So we'll see how things work out as we go forward. So let's go ahead and get Fuzz in here. Let's get your opinion, man, on this event. Possibly, where you at? I mean, have you heard anything? I know me and you talk. We text every day pretty much and talking to DM. So where you at on this, man?
After the unveiling of some Xbox refrigerators, I think what's her name? Justine
and Snoop
mentioned that her and Snoop got the fridge, but she had made mention that I guess Xbox made 3 of them. She got one, Snoop got one, and they're going to give away one. So I think that might be a thing that they do. So if anybody wants a real Xbox Series X refrigerator, I think there will be a contest for that on the 9th. The Fan Fest, it kind of sucks that everything blew up, but they're going to make it up to a lot of those that attended. You're going to get something like 5,000 Microsoft rewards, which can either be put towards like Game Pass or charities or anything you want out of their reward store and stuff. But outside of like a contest for the fridge, I think they're just going to have some of the Xbox staff, answer questions or talk about a few things. We all saw, like, if we were part of the Fan Fest, you saw that there's a note to, put together like a 30-second video if you want to ask, Phil or somebody a question at Xbox. So I think they're going to go through some of those. It'd be nice if they make some additional game announcements. I'm not holding my breath on it. I think they'll probably save some of that heat for the awards, the game awards this year or later this year. But I think it's win a fridge, show some gameplay, show some people at, like, even though they can't really do launch events, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be like video feed from a store in New York, maybe one in Washington State, and maybe a couple other key cities or something like that, where they show the people that pre-ordered them and stuff like that. But I expect at least kind of like a virtual party, from everybody being excited for these consoles.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I did, like I said, I did a video. You guys can check it out, but I will reiterate my point here. I'm with Mav, just based on the things that I've read. Now, obviously, this is all just speculation. We take it with a grain of salt, but it makes sense. I mean, Xbox tends to do these type of events, launch parties, things like that. We don't know as far as all the additional details that we possibly could get. Like new gameplay from other games we haven't seen. That would be phenomenal if that did happen ultimately. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from that actually coming to fruition and seeing what's going on. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. You guys have been amazing. Like I said, every week, you guys are here. The chat's cutting up today, man. Everybody in the chat. Chris, man, you got to bring a partner or something, a tag team, and you get beat up in there, brother. So anyway, let's keep. You don't have to tap out, brother. Nah, but I appreciate you, Chris.
I need a lifeline.
Yeah, something, man. But I appreciate you, Chris.
Chicken fries or something.
Be like, how long are we gonna let him fight on that hill?
He's good, man. I appreciate Chris for what he is, man.
That's his hill, bro. Let him have
good
it.
Dude. Yeah, let him. Chris is a good dude, man. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So this is something that I think has been way overblown regarding cross-gen games. So I just wanted to talk about cross-gen games and the idea and those being scrutinized heavily. You know, we've seen it with Spider-Man Miles Morales. We've seen it with, you know, other games that are going to be on both. Now, just so I can, you know, get this out the way, I think what most people are going to harp on is obviously the messaging, just being clear from both companies about this cross-gen and that we're still going to get, you know, a plethora of games that are on both systems. The Xbox has been extremely transparent going forward. Sony has had a bit of an issue regarding that problem. So we're going to start with you, Mav. I'm not saying that, you know, Sony's going to be in a bad spot for it, because ultimately I don't think it's going to matter. But just where you at on just cross-gen games, and, you know, people are just, we've always had cross-gen games. You know, just about every single generation, just about we get that. So where you at on the idea that we're going to get more of these, even though the hardware is capable of more?
It honestly doesn't bother me at all, because if you really look at what consoles are now compared to what they were in the past, games are scalable. The consoles are more like PCs than they ever were before. So there's no reason not to bring a game out on current gen and next gen if it can be playable on current gen. Now, games that are just starting development, or games that were started development like maybe a year or two ago that are a few years away, those are going to be on next gen only for the most part. And that's something to be excited about for those. But I mean, these games are awesome. I mean, who's not excited about Cyberpunk 2077, which is a current gen game currently, right? That's going to be the biggest game of the year. It doesn't even have an optimized for next gen version yet, and it looks better than most next gen cross gen games. The thing that people complain about a lot of times when they see this, they think, okay, it's cross gen, it's not going to look as good. It's just because those games are maybe not as big of games in the first place, right? There's not a lot being launched with these consoles, with a few exceptions, that are meant to showcase consoles in a great way. Now, you can make an argument where maybe Xbox and Sony should have done better planning 3 or 4 years ago to have more first-party titles at launch, right? Racing game like Forza and all that kind of stuff, right? But that didn't happen. Halo got delayed also. Cross-gen is not a problem. It's just not a big deal to me. You know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Amazing.
Have you seen that new trailer, the deep dive that happened last week? That game looks sick. And that is a multi-platform game. And that looks gorgeous. And we're going to get that. It's going to be on, it's going to be on current gen. But it's going to look and play best on the Series X and the PS5. And nobody can tell me otherwise, and that I shouldn't be excited to get the better experience. And the other thing about that is these cross-generation games are not only looking better than the current generation, but you also get all the other advantages of the hardware, right?
Good point. That's a good point.
The load times, you know, you get the quick resume features. It's going to be a better experience. You get a lower latency. For example, Gears 5, it was a cross-gen game.
That's going to be pretty much a brand new game. Pretty much. And in December, we're getting more campaign on that game. Yeah, DLC.
And with the controls, they're also lowering the latency. So you're getting 120 frames per second on multiplayer. So there's so many reasons to be excited about next generational features on current gen games and cross-gen games that it's ridiculous to think it's a problem right now. 2 years from now, when Avowed, Fable, Starfield, all this stuff just starts dropping, nobody's even going to think, oh, it sucks to have cross-gen games at launch. It's not a problem.
It's funny because we have these argument nows, but as gamers, we got to remember, man, we live in a moment way too much. Like, you realize by next week, none of us are going to care much about any of that. So it's so funny to have the conversation about cross-gen games. Like you said, there's a lot of benefit to them. We almost never not have games that have been on, you know, both systems to kind of move things over. You've seen it with The Last of Us last generation. You know, GTA, all these other games that have crossed over and were on both systems. So, and like you said, there's a lot of other benefits outside of just graphical updates that you can take advantage of. And we need shit to play with these systems coming around the corner. And like you said, there's not a lot of exclusives coming out for either system, not a lot of brand new stuff. So, I mean, it's nice to have the upgrades and be able to take advantage and still utilize the hardware, you know, and play around with all the new features and still have a real quality game like Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk, things like that. And I don't know anybody who sits down, puts the game in, and starts it is going to be complaining at all. So, Stag, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, brother. Where you at, man? All the noise around, cross-gen game, like I said, from Spider-Man to some other titles. Where you at with that?
People got to bitch about something, right?
We can end the whole conversation.
I mean, it's something every day. You wake up, you open your Twitter, or after you've had your mac and cheese, and you're like, what are these motherfuckers bitching about today? Oh, now it's cross-gen. Oh, now it's flops or whatever. Like, man, I don't care.
You play everything, though.
I mean, I play everything. I don't care what gen it's on. I mean, like, well, I'm not playing OG Xbox games.
Oh, no.
I actually have a PS1 that my friend sent me that I need to set up just for nostalgia's sake, because I love the PS1. That was one of my favorites.
Amazing system, yep.
Yeah, it was great. I played it for a long time. But, dude, I don't know, man. It gives these people something to talk about, because they ain't got nothing else right now, to be perfectly honest and blunt. Like, we got nothing other than current gen, and there's not really a lot, like you said, coming out exclusive for either console right at launch, which most consoles don't have huge launches, and if they do, they're kind of subpar. So yeah, whatever, man. Let's just I've said it before. I feel like they should have waited till next fall, holiday for these systems, so they for this reason, not alone this reason, but just this is part of the reason why I think they should have waited. Because if they would have waited another year, it's not like we all, like even Chris on his PS4 and us on our Xboxes or whatever console or PC, whatever you play on, it's not like what we're playing right now isn't amazing. You know what I mean?
True, good point.
And we have a shit ton of games that, like, they just sandwiched a ton of games right before launches too. If you notice, there's been a lot of games launching right now. So it's not like there isn't a lot to play on current gen that they couldn't have just waited till 2021 and had good launch titles for both consoles.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's it. And to be fair, anybody who ain't listening, Stag's been consistent with that opinion for the last probably 10 months about, waiting a little bit of time for these games to be ready and have more to play. So I agree partially with you on that. We've talked about this before on the show as well. I mean, but it's tough. I mean, gamers, it's what have you done for me lately? We need it. So it's tough. We got ants in our pants when it comes to these new consoles and, getting brand new hardware. We get antsy. So, but I do agree in part, Sag. I mean, they definitely could have benefited from waiting a little bit longer. I don't know. I mean, maybe the demand was just too much. They felt like, okay, we're pretty much.
There was a demand. Like, nobody was really like. I mean, we're all on Twitter. We're all reading the same articles out there and stuff. And I don't really, before they announced both consoles, remember reading anything about everybody being like, man, when's next gen coming? Like, dude, these consoles are outdated. We need some new shit. I didn't see anything. So I don't know if there was a demand wanted or a demand generated. So,
Good point. Now, we'll I don't want to go too long. I want to let Centurion go. Sorry. So
yeah, I'm done.
No, you're good. So Centurion, man, where you at on this, man? As far as cross-gen games and people, going back and forth about the validity of these games. Why are we still getting games made for these older systems? When we have this great new hardware and the transparency as far as tell us the game's going to be on both from the get-go. So where you at essentially, I know you play everything as well, Centurion. So go ahead, brother.
All right, let me get my mic unmuted from dragging this box over here. Hold on, I got to climb.
Oh, here we go.
No.
PS5 over? What?
Oh, no, we're not.
I said I'm climbing on the box. I didn't say I'm climbing on top of the building. Jesus.
Oh, stop. Pettiness. Pettiness. Go ahead, bro. If I had a quarter for every time, I'd be rich as hell right now. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
Go ahead,
anyways, so if you want me to be absolutely honest, I kind of mentioned this in a video that I got coming out. I actually do feel that you should at least let people know that a game is going to be cross-gen. I'm sorry, but literally, I work in an industry where I watched a person flip out today over a 2% difference. And that's where I'm just, that's where I'm kind of shocked that people are totally letting Jim Ryan or whatever the hell he is over there at Sony pass on the fact that, I'm sorry, but Spider-Man, we're just going to say Spider-Man. I know there's other games, but Spider-Man is that key game that was marketed as next gen, that key game as, oh, this is only possible on next gen hardware. And then it came out that it was also on PS4. And at that point, it felt kind of like, yeah, we had you. And, people just kind of shrugged it off. I don't care. I still am going to play it on PS5. I want to check it out. I want to see what next gen has to offer. As we all see, there's some people in the chat here that thinks that Xbox isn't going to have ray tracing. I got bad news. I just read an article from the developer over at Tripwire that did Maneater. The Maneater Series X update is going to have ray tracing in it. So yeah, there's ray tracing on the Series X. Anyways, cross-gen games. Don't have a big deal with them. Like, look at Destiny. Destiny kind of started its life off as a cross-gen game. And now it's actually one of the biggest kind of first-person shooters out there. I don't really see what the big deal is. Like, all of a sudden, you're starting to see... I am getting frustrated, yes, because you see people change their tune, because you see the thing of, well, Xbox has no games, but they do have games. You see what Jim Ryan does over there of like, he wasn't very transparent on it being on the PS4 and it being on the PS5 also. And when Microsoft is not transparent, oh my God, I feel like they get, kind of burned at the stake anytime they leave any detail out. Like, remember the whole thing of like, they stopped smoking in Gears of War. Like, I'm sorry. Like really, we stopped smoking in Gears of War. There was multiple podcasts talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. We had news articles on it. But PlayStation lies and markets a game as a next generation exclusive, and not even like very loudly on the internet, just kind of like through a post on the internet almost. It was like, hey, by the way, it's also going to be on the PS4. So that's where I like what Mav was talking about. If the game is scalable, it should be on all platforms. Everybody's over here trying to grasp for this and that on like what makes a game next gen and what makes a game,
that's a good point, because that's a lot of the argument. It's like you said, what makes a game next gen? Anyway.
What makes a game next gen at this point, at least from the way I look at it, I know there's going to be some people with some stuff that really want to get, I would love to nerd out and listen to you, but the other people around me don't get into it as much. So this is where I just kind of like simplify it. It's going to come down to hard drive. What makes a game next gen is hard drive, because like it comes down to any system can, as long as the game is scalable, can actually perform with the GPU and the CPU. What makes next gen right now is the fact that they are using these really quick SSD hard drives, and they're not typical SSD hard drives. These are the SSD drives that are current right now. SSD is actually like last gen. If you really want to think about it, it's actually becoming the norm. Everybody and their grandmother is starting to have an SSD hard drive. These are the next version of SSD hard drives in these consoles. And certain games that are going to be designed later on that are going to utilize the quickness and speed of these hard drives to be able to fuel the AI, fuel the graphics, to be able to make the games next gen. Until that day comes, we're going to see a lot of cross-gen titles. And that's where I've always kind of agreed on the argument that as long as a game is designed to work on a mechanical standard hard drive, that game is never going to be next gen. It's always going to be scalable. It's going to work on anything it's put on, even a potato. Basically, that's where the game has to be designed to work on these next gen hard drives for it to be next gen, because we've all seen that these games that use the velocity architecture on the Xbox side, they won't work on a normal hard drive. They have to be on the console hard drive for it to work. So that basically that's the limitation for next gen is the hard drive right there. And any game that basically can work on other hard drives other than those, at this point, it's scalable.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot to dig into there, but you made a lot of great points about just the technology regarding, the way these games are scalable. And like I said, it goes back to the question, what truly is next gen? That's different for everybody. So let's go ahead and get your opinion first so we can wrap this particular topic up. Where are you at on this, man, as far as the cross-gen games? You play Forza, you play these other games, you play a lot of games, you know what I'm saying? That are, matter of fact, let's put it this way, a majority of us are going to play, majority of the games we're going to play are going to be cross-gen games, multi-plats games, third-party games. That's what we spend most of our time playing, I would argue. So where you at on this, Fuzz?
I think it's just funny how people like to hate on anything associated with Xbox. And I'm going to point it out in the sense that when the gameplay is shown on Xbox, it's scrutinized with like a magnifying glass to the nth degree. If the video that's uploaded is sub 4K, not high res, no HDR, then people are like, "Oh, that looks terrible. My current, console does better than that." And it's like, yeah, well, if you're comparing a YouTube compressed video that's a lower resolution, that's a little bit more money as far as the artifacts and things like that in comparison to what you see in game, and sure, yeah, you're going to see a very big difference. But I think the funny thing is when a lot of us get our next gen console and see what these things look like on our TVs that are 4K ready and 60 hertz or better as far as refresh rate and stuff like that, I think we'll then see what at least a glimpse of next gen. And since you're going to hit it on the head with the SSDs, there are going to be games that may not look what we would, I guess the average person would consider next gen. It's not photorealistic enough, but yet those games aren't able to run on the current hardware. You can't install the medium. Like you can pre-download the medium if you have a Series X or a Series S already in the wild. If you have a regular Xbox or Xbox One or Xbox One X, you can't. And the reason being is it is going to be reliant on that SSD.
Before you continue, I just want to say shout out to Vic Alstein, $5 super chat, man. Thank you for the support. He said support you guys finally, PTK. But I know, brother. Thank you. We're able to do this because of you guys supporting. So thank you, Vic. Appreciate you here every single week. But go ahead, Fuzz. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to make sure I got to that, brother.
Yeah, no worries. I think everybody that sits up there and looks at YouTube videos with a microscope and wants to nitpick that, the tires look like squares when they're looking at the mud flaps. I mean, obviously you don't play racing games. So if you're going to think that those are the tires as opposed to the mud flaps, then be gone. Just you're already showing your I guess bias just for looking at something and not understanding what you're looking at. But even with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we had a lot of people that wanted to nitpick the facial expressions and things. And it's like, I've seen several different uploads. I've seen the uploads where it's in-game, either high-end PC or Xbox Series X, which I'm leaning towards the more recent ones being Xbox Series X, but I could be wrong. The facial expressions in comparison to those uploads compared to some of those that have played the early builds or some of the previous uploads, it's a night and day difference. It's much like anybody that would have looked at the uploads where if you look at Odyssey and Valhalla was looking worse than Odyssey, then obviously those are differences compared to like what you would see on a PS4 Pro or Xbox Series or Xbox One X. In comparison, those uploads are probably on that same hardware or at least on the least the standard consoles in comparison to the next gen ones coming out. But I think everybody needs to kind of take a step back, wait until they get the console in hand. I understand there aren't any new games out there that are, grabbing everybody's attention. So everybody's looking for any bit of news to either harp over or get excited about. I guess the best thing to do is just kind of focus on your back catalog. and
we all got those for sure.
Yeah.
So.
and just be ready for when those consoles come in, because I have a gut feeling a lot of people are going to be transferring files back and forth, no matter which system you get, to get some of those of the back catalog, playable or maybe not even playable, but to make room for what new games you're getting, and as opposed to what backlog ones you're going to try and tackle on the new system. But I don't know. I think every time there's gameplay shown of like PS4 or PS5 stuff, no one nitpicks it, except for when finally somebody notices, oh, wait, that button prompt says A. There's no A on a PS4. But, with an Xbox, it's like, there's not enough blades of grass. Those tires look like squares. Oh, those faces look worse than Odyssey. Well, it's probably because it's not the same quality level. But
what?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a very, very, very touchy subject. And at the end of the day, these new consoles are coming. We're gonna get the games as they put them out. Like I said before, this release, this next gen release of console is unlike anything we've ever experienced before. So things are we're getting drip fed a lot of stuff that we would normally get in like waves. Things are coming slowly. So hopefully we can stop being so fucking antsy and just kind of be patient. So we'll see though. Hopefully everything works itself out. So let's go ahead and move on to the last topic. We might throw extra in there. We're having a good time here. We may throw extra topic. So shout out to you, Victor, too. So stay out my fucking head, Victor. I don't know if you you was in my head or something, brother. But the next topic is we're going to be talking about a Scorn. We're going to be talking about Scorn gameplay. So we just got done talking about crushing games. So Scorn gameplay.
Supposed to leak the topics.
Gosh. See, look. So we found the leak. We found the leak. No, but now you good.
Oh, I'm an Xbox fan.
Stop it. Too much. But we're going to be talking about Scorn. So I think it was GameSpot, I believe, put out about 12, 13 minutes of gameplay. I just want to get everybody's opinion on, the game, the atmosphere. What'd you think? Now, I watched this probably 2 or 3 times. I actually showed my wife the Scorn game. She's like, what the hell is this? Why are there all of these random, like, nasty stuff all over the place? She had no idea what she was watching. She thought it was like a trailer for a horror movie. But I was trying to explain, the game and things like that to her. But I thought the game, first of all, visually looked great. I think it set the atmosphere. It was a bit slow. I thought we'd see more action. But once again, I don't know what level that was or what the goal was. And I'm not sure if it's just a puzzle / horror game or with little parts of action in between. So hopefully we get to see more come down the line. But I think ultimately the game looked great. It looked like it was going to play well. If you're into that kind of game, it looks like it's going to be right up your alley for horror. So we're going to start with you, Mav. Did you get to see the gameplay? And what did you think after you saw it, brother?
Yeah, I watched it, and I thought it was really promising because before, when I saw gameplay of that game, it was like, okay, it looks pretty good, whatever. It seemed a little like
you're on PC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed like it was a little janky, the first videos I saw, it kind of like had a little bit of stutter here and there and stuff like that. Now this video, just like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we saw a transformation, right? It was promising because it's almost like these developers, when they got these dev kits and they've got to kind of throw everything at it. We're seeing improvement in these games closer to launch, right? And this game's coming out 2021. We don't have an exact release date yet, but it's definitely an improvement on what we saw before. And when they had that light passing through, that was like, okay, my whole vision of this game has changed because you could see all the detail. You could see it look beautiful in a gross way, right? It looks like the whole game was made out of meat.
Yeah, dude, it's like the end, like they made the game inside of somebody to just say Taco Bell.
Right. I think they hid like the interface and like the on-screen stuff because the gameplay, if I was actually playing that myself, I would have no clue what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, I would.
Right?
That's another thing. I think that's what threw me off. There was no HUD. There was no indicators or anything. So
yeah. So I was like, why am I doing this? Where am I going? Like he's just wandering around slowly, shooting teeth out of a gun. Right. So, but it looked really good. I think
reading, I think there's some of the stuff I've read, I don't think there's going to be a HUD.
Really? Like, is there going to be anything on screen?
In the previous beta footage, if you watch it when he plays the game, he'll like look down a hallway and then he'll stop and open the gun and look at how many shots are in the gun and then put the gun back together and then continue on.
Yeah,
like,
I just want to know how
had to physically look in the gun to see how many rounds. So it seems like, at least from what I've at least read, is that they want to use they want you to actually physically have to use your environment.
Right. I just want to know how I'm supposed to know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing or where to walk.
I've never done anything on story or anything like that, but when it comes to like mechanics, I know that from what at least every footage I've ever seen, there's never been a HUD. It's always been stop, look in the gun, look how many bullets there are, and keep on, and then go about your way. Yeah. And I know they wanted it to feel very physical, like they cared about like, remember back in the day, like when an NPC would grab an object and it would be like they would scoop it up and it would just be in their hand.
Yeah.
They didn't want that. They want it to be like, they want you to physically see your hand go under it, grab the object, and interact with it.
Yeah. They want you to be fully immersed in the gooey, ooey, nastiness of that game. And that's awesome. I mean, it looks gorgeous. Like the all the detail, the H.R. Geiger, like
it's crazy.
Like feeling of that game, the artwork. You could tell it's like a passion project, right? The
Definitely.
People that made this are making what they wanted to make, right? And I'm always excited to play a game that is made in that way first, right?
And not to cut you off, but people always dog passion projects. But a lot of good games have come from a fucking passion project or just a concept. Maybe the game that was made as a passion project ended up being to something completely different, but the idea started with that passion project. So continue. I just wanted to.
No, you're fine, man. Yeah,
100%.
Like this, you could tell it's like this guy. He's like, okay, I want to make a game like this, and they went down that path. And you can tell just by looking at it, they did not deviate.
No,
they stayed on track. Like just the weirdness of it is cool, and that's another thing. It's going to be in Game Pass, right? And that you were talking about cross-gen games. That's not. That game is only Series X, Series S, and PC. So that's also a Xbox exclusive in that way, right? So and on Game Pass, you get a variety with that, right? You're gonna have games like Katana Zero that just hit that I was playing, and then you got games like Scorn, and then you got like Halo, and I mean it's just amazing to see the variety. And this game, as far as the gameplay looks, it definitely caught my attention. It is now on my radar, and it looks gorgeous. And I'm glad to see the improvement, because if you think back to 2013 was the game that we saw that blew everybody's minds when they announced it for the first time was Watch Dogs, right?
Yeah,
they showed that gameplay footage and it was like, okay, this is what we're making. And then when the game came closer to release, we got knocked down to reality a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and now also with Scorn, we're seeing like, okay, this game's actually looking better the closer it's getting to release. And that's exciting for me, because I think this time the consoles have more power than the developers may have been anticipating. Than last generation, they had less.
Okay. That's a very, very good point. Now let's go ahead and get throw this over to you, Stag. I mean, did you see it? I mean, you, like I said, you play everything. Is this something that you think you would sit down and play? You're not big into the horror stuff, but it didn't look that scary. It just looked more immersive. But once again, that was just a small, probably piece of a level. So did you see it, Stag? And what'd you think, man?
I just went and checked it out. I hadn't seen it yet. Kind of scrolled through it really quick. I mean, I think everybody covered it pretty well. Like, it does look a little slow. I don't know if that's
intentional.
Yeah, or if that's just, not final footage kind of. I don't know, man. It looks slow. Like, it's creepy and squishy. It just sounds really squishy. I don't know if I'll play it. I'm not a huge fan of the horror games. I've played a couple, and I'm getting too old for that shit, man. I don't even watch horror movies. Like, it's not my jam. So it looks cool. Like, the visuals, the art looks amazing that I've seen. Just the stills I've seen look really cool. I like the art, but I'm not sitting through that shit. I want to watch people streaming that, like, what's that game everybody's streaming now, that Phasmophobia or whatever? Like, Ghost Hunter game? Like, nah, I'm cool with all that action.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. And this may have to grow. Like you said, we've seen very little so far. So maybe, down the line, it's in Game Pass. So we're probably going to get around to playing it and downloading it at the very least. That's the beauty of it. If you don't touch it now, maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the line, you might pick it up. You never know. Like, fuck it. Maybe it's time for me to try and play it now. So let's go ahead and get this.
I'll probably try it. If it goes in Game Pass, I'll probably try
it. It is. I believe, isn't it, Mav?
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's Game Pass. Yeah, so I say, look at you. You stuck now. You got to play this shit. So
that's the thing about Game Pass. You're going to play games you never would have. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly. So let's go ahead and get this over to you, Centurion. Did you check out the Scorn gameplay, man? What you think?
Yeah, I've even got it playing right now. I could definitely say that I'm a little uneasy about the older people on stage in masks. Wait, I think I'm sorry. I'm watching an election ad. Hold on.
Stop it. Stop it. Too much.
Anyways, I'm sorry. That couldn't happen because I had an election ad actually kick on. But no, I've been watching this game for a little while. So yeah, it was a Kickstarter. It was originally supposed to be a game done in 2 parts. As soon as they did the reveal, I guess I don't even want to call it a reveal. The game disappeared for like a year, and then all of a sudden it reemerged on stage in the very beginning of June. I believe it was, because that's when the E3 thing was supposed to go down, and Microsoft kicked it off, and they did that show where they showed all their I guess you'd say independent studios.
Yeah.
And Scorn was on there, and I did a video on it, kind of got myself in the history of it, and yeah, it was supposed to be a 2-part game, and they had enough money to get the first game out, and then all of a sudden a mysterious benefactor, air quotation marks, decides to give them a large sum of money that made it to where they were able to give you the complete package, which is a game that we're going to get, which is both games. It's no longer a 2-part game. It's going to be a full title experience for them. This is why they've been working so hard on wanting to get it done, because this is actually a passion project. This is something that if you kind of go and actually dig into it, they do still answer, I do believe, a little bit on their Kickstarter, and they were showing people the different tech, and they've even showed some puzzle games. They said there's going to be some puzzle games, so you're going to have to use your mind on stuff.
Oh shit. I'm out. I'm just playing.
No. So, but that's where definitely that's where they want you thinking. They want you to be engaged in the environment. Definitely, when you hear them talk about the game or write about the game, you definitely see that passion. They definitely want this to be an experience that shines. And that's why I was saying, from everything I've seen and at least read, I have never seen anything about a HUD. I have seen animations where they show arms decaying and then becoming healthy again. So I'm like, so does that mean you're going to have to physically look at your character? Does your character stick his arm? Are you able to look at your character to know what your health state is?
That's a cool mechanic.
That's a good idea.
Lie. That's a cool. I've never heard of that mechanic. Physically, you have to look at yourself. Man, how bad am I? That's actually
that's where I'm kind of curious on the other stuff they're cooking up, which is what is going to make this game next gen. I think this game is going to be so immersive that there's going to be stuff in this game that we have never thought about doing in a game before, and this is where next gen is going to shine, because we're going to have some developers that can push the boundaries. They definitely, they were going to have it on originally the Xbox One X, and then all of a sudden they heard about the Series X, and they were like, well, let's just go for the gold right now.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm excited to see what they're definitely making, because everybody wants a quality game nowadays. What more quality can you get than somebody who is like living and breathing, and basically this is the game they wanted to make, and they are giving it everything they got.
Yeah, and like Mav said, like Centurion just said, I echo the same sentiment, man. Fuzz, I'm pretty sure the same thing. I mean, a lot of these smaller devs are able to take these type of chances, and studios come along, Xbox comes along, Phil comes along, Sony, whatever the case may be, and funds these projects. So these projects aren't for everybody, but some guy had a dream or girl had a dream, and they're putting their everything into these games. So I do appreciate the effort.
I think that one was a nightmare.
No, that one could have been a nightmare. I don't know what the fuck happened, what part of the brain that shit came from. It came from somewhere. But either way, once again, I ultimately, before we get to you, Fuzz, I do want to say that it's definitely the game's definitely now more on my radar than it was before. I didn't know anything about it besides what we first saw, the little trailer. I hadn't really dug any deeper, to be fair and be honest. So to be fully transparent, but after seeing that, I'm a little bit more interested in it. It does remind me kind of an Aliens like. I almost got the feeling that you were like a race and some other race showed up and like took over or something happened, like maybe some type of plague kind of. So because the scenery reminds me of the alien ship, like you're walking around some kind of ship and something came and took it over. Whatever all that little gunky stuff is. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll see what that is, and we'll see how the story unfolds too. Because I'm curious, is there an actual storyline to this? Is there going to be a character that's highlighting? You're going to be able to progress through the storyline with this character and know what happened and what's going on, or is it just some weird, crazy, fucked up ass game that somebody just put together? So I guess we'll find that out. Well, let's go ahead and get to you, Fuzz. Just your opinion on the game, man. What do you think? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Nightmare fuel. No,
it
it definitely looks interesting. I don't know if it's going to be something that I play a lot. It's not that these games like raise the hair on the back of my neck type of thing, but it looks like you may not be able to move out of the way fast enough or dodge or blow away some of those enemies. So as much damage as he was taking towards the end, it's like it might get a little frustrating, but the cool fact is, like, much like what was that game? Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
There really isn't much of a HUD in most cases, where if you want to see how much ammo you have to look at, drop the magazine, look in the magazine and see how much ammo you have. So the fact that they have like these little, I guess, kind of like what you were saying earlier, like teeth or eyeballs or whatever kind of ammunition that's in there, that it's going to be interesting. It's like, do I have 3 left or 4 left? Let me open it up and hopefully not get whacked upside the head with one of those beanbag things with legs or whatever. I don't know. But,
well, like think about that. Like,
like nutsacks.
In real life, you don't just get to look at the gun like we do in games, like in Call of Duty, and be like, oh, there's 10 bullets in it, I'm good. You would have to like break the clip out and literally count the bullets out of the clip and then put them back in.
Oh yeah. So it's the mechanics of it, from what we've seen just in, that was it 13 minutes or so. I would say it's definitely enough to keep me occupied for quite a few hours. I'm hoping that there are some more environments. Like, I don't know if you get out of this alien ship looking area or not.
Yeah,
but,
I'm curious about that as well.
But it's definitely interesting. Not one of my first choices to play, but definitely from an environment or atmosphere standpoint, it's beyond interesting, especially as a fan of the Alien movies, even though this technically isn't anything associated with that, but definitely just some of the structures and things like that kind of remind me of that. So it definitely on my radar as soon as either it hits Game Pass or can be up for pre-order. So looking forward to it in I think they said 2021.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go back and check. But
it's at the end of the trailer. It said 2021.
Okay, so good. So there may be a whole lot more to show later on.
Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just it came to mind. This hasn't been the first time we've seen a horror game that's actually kind of, a shooting style horror game that has a no HUD mechanic. Does anybody remember Dead Space?
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Dead Space, your health was going down your spine on those light bars, and then also the gun had the ammunition, and also, not to like go really deep, but Ghostbusters, the video game, and even it's remastered for Xbox One. Your proton pack is actually your HUD. There's nothing on the screen. Everything is associated with the proton pack. So you basically, have to look at the proton pack at the back of the character to kind of determine what's going on.
Is there a HUD in Metro? I don't. I think Metro maybe.
Exactly. It's like it's on your sleeve, like the radiation and stuff like that, and you can see the condition of your mask. I mean, it's not like you said, it's not a HUD, but
And then it makes it even worse with that lighter.
Yeah.
Dude, that freaking lighter, man. When you're like, when you have to like juggle the mask and everything going on, and you're like, oh crap, how much? And you have to like flip the lighter open, and you have to put the gun down to flip the lighter open to look at your arm.
Ridiculous. So what depth? So I don't want to cut you off, Fuzz. Were you done as far as?
Oh
Scorn?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Definitely looking forward to it. That's I can't wait until 2021.
Okay. All right. So yeah, and shout out to Victor said seems like a Kojima kind of idea. I mean, yeah, definitely something. Whoever's creating this routine, they definitely probably the only ones that know what's going on with the game as far as the original idea. Because I didn't get really any direction, which is not a bad thing. Sometimes those trailers or gameplay trailers give too much direction. They almost tell you too much about what's going on. You can kind of draw a conclusion. So this didn't give me shit. I didn't get anything. So it kind of leaves a lot of stuff open. So I definitely appreciate that. Definitely going to be a game that I think a lot of people are going to come back to. They may not get it right away, depending on when it comes out, what it comes out next to, and what's out at that particular point in time. But definitely something that's absolutely on my radar for now. So you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. But it's been a phenomenal show. I appreciate everybody here that's been in chat. I appreciate our guests here. I'll get around to the panel and the guests here in a second. But everybody that donated as far as the super chat, once again, this is new for me. This is new for the Shop Podcast. So I definitely thank you guys so much. We would not be at this point if it wasn't for you guys watching live, as well as you guys showing support on Twitter, everywhere else, Instagram, everywhere, Facebook, whatever the case may be. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart to you guys as well. So let's go ahead and go around the panel first. We'll start with our special guest, Mav. It has been a fun fucking time. I hope you had a good time on the show, brother. Let everybody know once again, if they're just jumping in right now at the end of the show, where they can find you at, man. And once again, I just appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with us this evening.
It's been a blast, guys. Thank you for having me, and it's been cool talking with each and every one of you here. So, again, my YouTube channel is Fun Speculation. You can find me at Twitter at Fun Speculation. My podcast is called Xbox Ultimate. It hits on my YouTube channel as well as all of the podcasting platforms for audio, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all that stuff. But also, I wanted to take a second to tell all you guys I am doing a giveaway on my channel. I'm having a special live stream on October the 30th. It is Fun Speculation Fright Night live stream. We're going to have Halloween-themed stuff going on. I'm going to have some special guests are going to be showing up. And we're going to play multiple games. It's going to be a long thing. And at that live stream, I'm going to be giving away a digital code for Cyberpunk 2077.
Ooh. So if you want to go check them out, all that information's in the link in the description below.
Is this a fans only thing?
Get your ass out of here. You're not getting the code.
Yeah, but go on my Twitter and it's pinned to the top of my profile. You'll see what you need to do to enter to win to try and get a copy of that game.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I know, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, brother. No, but appreciate you, man. Once again, guys, go check him out, man. Do me a favor. And every guest I have on the show, I greatly appreciate them taking their time out. So go check them out. All of the information is down below, man. Subscribe, follow, like, all the good reviews on the Spotify, all of that good stuff. So please do me a favor. And Mav, once again, brother, you're welcome on the show anytime. You may randomly get tweets and DMs from me saying, hey, you're available. So don't be surprised, brother, okay? But, man. Oh, absolutely, man. So good shit, bro. Appreciate you hanging out with us. So let's go around with my three amigos here. Stag, I don't know if you got anything to say. You're probably playing video games right now, but let everybody know where they can find you at if they don't know already. And yeah.
I've been playing video games this whole show.
I know you have.
Get achievements, man. Can't keep that million by sitting on your hands.
How good you are.
Man, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch under Staggerilla. Also, you can catch me at my local Burger King trying to win a PS5. So I got something to play that Anthem 2.0 on. So
hey, it's game of the year. We calling it right now.
Anthem 2.0 gonna be jamming on that PS5. So hopefully I'll have an in game and really good grinding. So
he stole the Anthem sighting.
He had to get it in. So this is the thing, man. We Anthem. How long have we been doing this shit? With Anthem?
It's been over a year now.
It's been over a year.
It's been over a year.
I don't even think I've been on the show that long, have I?
You haven't.
Oh, you have, dude.
I don't even know, man.
You have.
Time is relative. It's still 2020, right? I don't.
So are you saying Staggerilla plays Anthem daily?
Look, man.
No,
I'm playing it right now.
We have been making Anthem. We have been making sure at least somebody on this show, in some way, shape, or form, outside of PTK, has been making sure that there is at least one Anthem joke in this show every Saturday for over a freaking.
It's awesome, though. It's a little insider here at the shop. That's what you get for coming on the show, brother. But anyway, appreciate you, Stag, man. Every week, you guys go check Stag out, man. Streaming, doing all his good shit.
They are. We have a lot of fun on the streams. So
yeah, he streams everything too, big, small, everything, man. He's an awesome guy. Interacts, man, phenomenal. So go check him out. Please do me a favor and do that, man. So Centurion, you next, bro. Let everybody know what's going on with you. Where they can find you at, bro. And what you got cooking up.
Well, before that, thank you, gentlemen, for always putting up with me. Everyone listening live and after the show, be sure to find, like, and subscribe. All these gentlemen, especially our guest here, they are all great individuals, especially the man, the myth, the legend, PTK Blam.
Hey, man, I'll run you your money after the show when we get off.
Well, actually, we were talking about, see, everybody, in my opinion, PTK Blam is running the NXT of podcasting. This is where people come to learn to be superstars. He's like Triple H over here going, are you ready? Anyways, for those who want to find me and my crazy world that I live in and all my content, be sure to find me on YouTube at Centurion1307, and you can also find me on Xbox and Twitter, or on Centurion1307 as well. And thank you everyone for showing up. It's been fun.
Yeah, great show, man. Once again, go check Centurion out, man. Appreciate you every week, man. These guys are my best friends, man. So you guys are good people. So thank you for hanging out with us every week, Centurion. Man, you're always amazing. Always a ball of fun. And last but not least, this is where we smooth things out, man. This is where it gets really sexy. This is the sexy part of the show, right? Go ahead, Fuzz, man. Yeah, I know. Actually, no. We got everybody pants off when Fuzz talks. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you hear that? Oh, wait a minute. I need to get a glass of cognac.
No, awesome show, guys. Always enjoy being here on Saturdays, talking games and everything. And, man, glad to have you on here. Fun speculation. Man, I'm just still excited for the fact that it's less than 20 days now. So, but you can find me on Twitter on Fuzzy_Belvedere, on PSN Fuzzy_Belvedere, or Xbox Live Fuzzy Space Belvedere. More than likely playing Forza or some sort of racing game. So, thanks for having me on.
All right, man. And last but not least, your boy PTK Blam across the board, man. Hit me up. The DMs, Twitter, all of that information below, man. You guys know where to find me, man. The host with the most every week. I appreciate you guys. So same place, same time next week. Oh, actually, you know what? I lied. I was going to tell a lie. So I need to tell you guys this as well. So actually, next week will not be a shop podcast because my Saturday will be taken up. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there. I almost lied on air. All right, so I got something that I have to do all day. So there will be no shop podcast next week. So I do apologize for that ahead of time. I will try and put out maybe an extra video just to kind of compensate for that. But thank you guys every week. You guys are always.
Well, then I guess that means we should wish everyone a happy Halloween now. Then
I know, right? You might as well, yeah. Because
happy Halloween, everyone. Jeez, it just got revealed. I had this whole speech planned for next Saturday. Well, there went that idea.
I'm on my Sony shit. I'm telling y'all late. But anyway, I'm just joking. Listen. I don't, I'm not messing with it. Okay, anyway. But yeah, appreciate you guys every week, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Love you guys so much, man. Retweet the link. Like I said, come back and watch the show again for a second time if you missed part of it, man. See you guys next week. Not next week. See you guys later at the beginning of November. Peace out, man. Have a good weekend.
Y'all take it easy. Later. Thank you.